Cricket 26 is crashing for a lot of players right now, and it's happening so consistently that people have stopped treating it like a random hiccup. Across Steam and Reddit, players keep describing the same moment. The game collapses right when batting begins, sometimes before the first ball even finishes. When everyone is getting thrown out at the same point, it becomes pretty clear that the issue is coming from inside the game rather than from someone's PC acting up. Why everyone is talking about the same crash. Once you start reading the community discussions, the pattern becomes impossible to miss. Players load into a match, get ready to bat, and the game suddenly drops to desktop without warning. It isn't tied to one team, one device, or one region. It's happening across different setups, which is why more and more players are convinced that the problem is sitting deep inside the game code. And because so many reports match the same sequence, the situation feels bigger than a simple configuration mistake. What players are doing while waiting for an official fix. Since there's no official patch released yet, players are experimenting with ways to keep the game stable long enough to finish a match. Some are sticking to more straightforward setups, avoiding unnecessary changes during gameplay, or minimizing anything that could add stress to the game engine. It isn't a perfect solution, but it's helping enough players stay in the match long enough to actually enjoy themselves. Why basic fixes still matter. Even when the bug is game-side, even if the heart of the problem is inside the game, your own system can either make the situation better or much worse. Verifying game files through Steam is one of the easiest ways to clean up potential trouble. You open your Steam library, right-click Cricket 26, go into Properties, open Installed Files, and hit the Verify button. Steam scans everything line by line and replaces anything that looks corrupted or incomplete. It takes a few minutes, but it often clears out invisible issues that pile up after updates. Updating your graphics drivers works the same way. Opening your NVIDIA, AMD, or Intel driver software and installing the newest version gives the game fresh optimization for animations, lighting, and motion. These driver updates drop constantly, and brand new games rely heavily on them to maintain stability. Windows updates matter more than most people expect. When you open Windows settings and check for updates, you might notice a list waiting silently in the background. Installing them refreshes important system files that modern games depend on. Things like DXX libraries and system runtimes can quietly cause crashes when they're outdated. Overlays are another silent troublemaker. Apps such as Discord, Steam, Xbox Game Bar, and MSI Afterburner sometimes interfere with new titles, even if they don't mean to. Turning off overlays for a clean test creates a simpler environment for the game, giving it fewer chances to stumble. How to report the crash the right way. If the game still crashes after all that, the most helpful thing you can do is save the crash logs before restarting. These logs hide inside the game's folders or in app data and documents. They capture exactly what happened behind the scenes when the game failed. When reporting, describe your situation clearly. Mention whether it was an online or offline match. Explain what part of the innings you were in, and note the exact moment the game shut down. Attach your PC specs, operating system version, and the crash logs. Developers rely on these details to recreate the issue on their end, and reproducible reports always get faster attention. How to keep playing until a real patch arrives. For now, if you want to avoid losing progress, the best move is to keep your setup simple. Stick to stable match settings and avoid unnecessary changes while playing. If online matches feel unpredictable, switch to offline modes until the update arrives. Most players are finding that these small adjustments make Cricket 26 far less likely to crash during critical gameplay moments. Why this issue should get fixed quickly. Crashes that happen during the same part of gameplay again and again are usually the easiest for developers to patch. When a problem is reproducible, it gives the studio a clear path to test, break, and fix the underlying code. And because this issue appears right at the start of batting for a lot of players, it's likely sitting high on the priority list for the next update. Until then, keeping your game files clean, your drivers updated, and your match setup simple is the best way to stay in the game without constant frustration. And once the patch rolls out, you should be able to play normally again without worrying about sudden desktop drops. If you had fun with this one, drop a like, subscribe, and join us for more gaming stories. Thanks for being here.